Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Subnautica. Now, the Cyclops, the big old massive sub. We've seen it on the internet. You've been alluded to it with all the blueprints that you find laying about. And finally, I've managed to build one. But where do you get all those parts to find the blueprints to build a Cyclops? Well, hopefully in this video, we're going to go through and we're going to talk our way through it. So you yourself can then go and find all the items needed to get you that massive Cyclops submarine. And what a beauty it is. We'll do another video soon about a walk around and a kit out of the Cyclops. But right now, let's concentrate on how we find those all-important blueprint parts which you can scan with your scanner. Now credit goes to the Subnautica player who developed this lovely map, has to be said. The item and place that we're looking for are going to be the Cyclops blueprints, hull, engine and bridge. Now the best areas I found for these I'm going to mark with a red X on the map. Basically head for the Aurora and that blue sector by there. I have found bridge, hull, and then what you have to look for is the engine fragments. They are typically going to be found at the stern of the Aurora, and I've found perhaps the best places to get them will be directly at the back of the ship. Now you're going to have to be careful because there's going to be an awful lot of Leviathans around there and they're going to do you a bit of damage. So let's get into where we have actually found some of those items. Now if you've already done so and you like what you're seeing, please click the like and the subscribe button. A like and subscribe goes a hell of a long way on YouTube these days. And also if you want to be notified of any more videos that I'm making on Subnautica or any other games that I'm playing, then please click that notification icon and you may or may not get notifications sent through. Now the mushroom forest is a wealth of materials and items, not only for the Sea Glide, also for the Cyclops and other items. Be very careful. Now I'm using my Sea Glide here to move around, but I've also got my Seamoth there with the lights on, so it'll highlight the hull fragments and bridge fragments that can be found in the area a little bit better. You start to lose light, you can get very quickly disorientated, and you've got to keep an eye on your oxygen reserves. Now I'm currently rocking around with advanced oxygen tanks. That affords me an awful lot of time to stay underwater, but by using your Seamoth here as a sort of mobile command base, it allows you to replenish your stores more easily without going back and forth to the surface or changing tanks. The mushroom forest, like I mentioned, you're going to find bridge segments, you're going to find hull fragments, and most of all you're going to see a wealth of materials. These wealth of materials are going to include things like diamond, gold, lead, lithium. Now to build the Cyclops you're going to need several materials like what I've mentioned. Not only are you going to need titanium and titanium ingots, which require a lot of titanium, but you are going to need lithium. Now lithium generally doesn't need to be broken, it can be found on the surface, so it's well worth marking this area with a beacon and then editing the beacon's name so you can quite adequately see that from wherever you are and you know exactly where you're going. Just by not editing those beacons, right, you know, with the area of where you're setting that beacon can give you that impression of, you know, well, what is beacon 1, what is beacon 2, and you're referring to notes. Make a little bit of good practice, get in there, edit your beacon name so it refers to where you're going. Now make sure you've got a nice free inventory. You're going to go around, you're going to be picking up lead like I mentioned. You've got titanium knocking about, and also if you've already scanned some of those items from the Cyclops, you're going to get furnished with some additional titanium. Make sure you've got some lithium by there, look already, just hanging around. You can just pick up off the side. Scan everything. Look out for the indigenous animals as well in those species. They are going to, if they come in contact with you, they are going to damage your health. Salt, we've got salt everywhere. We've got salt literally coming out of our ears in this game. We're surrounded by salt. The fish, you know, you can cure them with salt and get you some food as well. Scan as many fragments as you like, okay? But make sure, before we move on to the next section, right, that you've also got a little bit of storage capacity in your Seamoth. The Seamoth is a great tool. It'll allow you to bomb around, and when fully modified up, get you down to about 900 meters. The Cyclops will indeed get you down a little bit further than that with all the modification, but we'll cover that in another video. So ensure you've got water with you as well. Very important in this game, even though you're surrounded by water, to help that you remain hydrated. Also make sure before you embark on this mission as well, that you're fully stocked up on food from your base. Now you're going to find loads of items strewn around, but as you've picked up and scanned all the Subnautica Cyclops bridge fragments and hull fragments, it's time, once you've picked up all that lithium and stocked up on lithium, to get yourself round to the Aurora and start looking at all the items that have been littered across the seabed by that section. And in particular, we're going to be looking for those Cyclops engine segments. Now, material farming, as you can imagine, is a huge part of this game. It's very important, and the manufacturing tree, it is very reliant on certain aspects. So plasteel, for example, as I've mentioned, lithium and 2 titanium ingots. Titanium ingots, well, you can find titanium anyway, but that lithium, this is a fantastic source for lithium. And if you're more advanced, then you also know where lithium is, but you can start to mine the bigger units if you've got a drill arm attachment. So I'm going to head on back now to the Seamoth. I'm pretty much full with my inventory. I'm going to put some of my inventory into the side section once I've recharged my oxygen. Make a little bit of extra space. But looking around that one particular seawall, I say it's a wealth of materials. You're well worthwhile getting over there. Make sure you've got free inventory so you can start harvesting all those materials. Now, here's a bit of a tip. The Leviathan creatures that are going to be around the Aurora are going to attack your Seamoth. They're going to attack you as well, right? But if they attack you in the Seamoth, there's not a hell of a lot you can do. You're going to be very lucky if you're going to break free and not lose the ship. Now think about it. If you lose the ship, you've got to get all those upgrades again. So before you get into the area, into this particular area now, as we come up to the Aurora, save your game. On approach to the Aurora, you're going to find a wealth of items that are going to encourage you to leave your ship. Once you leave that Seamoth, it's basically vulnerable to anything that's floating around out there, and you will get attacked. This part of the game I've found is not so much about collecting the materials. That's very important. That's why we're here. It's also on avoidance. Avoidance of the Leviathans. They got big, nasty looking claws and talons that come on the side of their head, and they will grab onto your Seamoth and eventually destroy it if left unattended. I found one of the best aspects of this is the hide. Yes, stealth. Stealth is one of the best aspects you're going to find here. As you see, as I approach the surface, I'm heading round towards the back of the ship. You're going to find loads of cargo canisters, loads of cargo boxes, loads of supply crates as well, which you can go in there and start scanning. And if you haven't got those particular items, you're going to get that titanium. Now, if you haven't gone in there and gone towards the Aurora, and you haven't been in there and been inside and repaired the drive bay, you're going to suffer from radiation. Now, radiation, it's going to kill you, right? So if you're going to do this, you're going to need, and you haven't done that part of the game, I'd encourage you to go and do that part of the game, and I've got a video on that. However, if you have, you're not going to need it because you fixed the radiation. If you haven't, then you're going to need that lead-lined diving suit and a lead-lined helmet. Right? That's going to be so important for you because it's going to protect you, the Subnautica individual, from all that nasty radiation. Now, with the Leviathans, keep an eye on for shadow. You're going to see the shadow of these things floating above you and and swimming around long before they attack you. Now, one of the best things I've found in this part of the game, like I mentioned, is to hide. No cowardice in hiding, because going head to head with these things, well, you're just going to cause yourself a little bit of trouble. Going around the back of the Aurora, right? Like I mentioned, you're going to find loads of debris. You're going to find ship parts. You're going to find the parts of the Cyclops engines, but probably not enough to warrant you just to fly in or swim in there and scan them. What you're going to need to do, right, is hide your Seamoth, right? I found a great place to hide the Seamoth right underneath the engines of the Aurora. Now, keep an eye out. You're going to find some fantastic goodies to pick up, like power cells, ion cells, hey, medkits, they're always handy, even water. So try and hide this Seamoth either underneath the engines or in some of these crevices and valleys that you're finding on the seabed. As you can see, there's loads of boxes. Some have been opened, revealing their contents. Again, we've got a power cell in there. Always handy for those. Batteries. It's so important to have free space within your inventory, because it's one of these areas where you go there and once you've been there and you've had all that hassle and you don't want to get your ship destroyed by the Leviathans, you found all the engine components, you haven't really got an awful lot of need to go back here. You can see loads of debris on the floor. And the colour of the sea changes to that sort of sepia colour. This is the way I think you are definitely here in the danger zone. You are going to get attacked. It is dangerous. And there's also sort of like gravitational fluxes. You know, there's an awful lot of turbulence behind where the engines are of this ship. Now, I hid in here and no one found me, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. You're also going to see this fragment as well, which you can either scan if you haven't got it, this bridge fragment, or, you know, you're going to get the titanium in its stead. So make sure you've got your sea glide attached. Keep an eye out for the Leviathans. If you need metal salvage, get your metal salvage, but by all means, right, keep an eye on for those supply crates as well. Pick up everything you possibly can. It's a scavenging game. It's a survival game. So get into that mindset of being a survivalist scavenger. Now, you're going to be tempted to stray too far away from your Seamoth. You're going to get caught up in the moment. Oh, what if I just go over here? What if I just go over there? My advice is go in, get what you want, and get out. The rest of the stuff you can find anywhere and you can manufacture. Unless there's a specific item of the game that you want here, get in, get those engine fragments, and get out. Don't get hepped up and go into every crate that you see. If you come across them, fine. If you don't, by all means, I think what you need to be doing is staying on message and going directly for those engine fragments. And they certainly are littered around this particular area. A good supply of creeper vines as well for lubricant. But I've planted a lot of those by my base already, so I've got a good supply. And right next to the base, you know, there's one. I haven't got to venture all the way over here for it. The lithium, over the other side of the seawall, by all means. This, not so much. So there you go. There is a Cyclops engine fragment. Just by there. You can see it. Have a good look around. Get your scanner out. Give it a scan. And there it is. I've unlocked my Cyclops. So, bridge fragments. You can get them in the Mushroom Forest. Engine fragments. Engine of the Aurora. Get yourself down there. Look out for those Leviathans. Hull fragments. Mushroom Forest again. Okay? Those are the items. Those are the areas. And that's where I'm picking up these particular items for this. Now you see I'm being stalked at the moment. And that's quite daunting. So I'm going to get myself... There he is. He's coming for me. I've got a Foxtrot Oscar in the other direction. Right, let's get myself right the way down to my Seamoth and try and get out as soon as I possibly can. I've got a hull full of lithium, gold, I've got titanium, I've got lead. I've got everything I need now to get back, make plasteel, and make the items for that particular Cyclops that I want. Now, heading on back, I'm trying to use some avoidance. Unfortunately, there's no way, and there's some more Cyclops engine fragments on the seabed, so you're going to have no problem finding that. The problem you're going to have is avoiding the creatures that are stalking this particular area. As you can see, I'm making a big mistake by going and scanning it. I've already scanned it, but for illustration purposes, you can see how easy it is to get yourself around. Open up those crates. A little bit of disinfected water there. Drink some water. And I've been attacked. Game over. So as you can see, I'm returning to my save point. You're not safe, like I mentioned, in that Seamoth. Here I am being attacked in the Seamoth, but I've saved my game. It's not going to take me too long to get back in, swim around, and get to those engine fragments. And that's the beauty of the game. It's repeatable. As long as you're careful and you know what you're doing when you're saving. I mean, you are able to break free, but you can see it's taking my hull on the Seamoth right the way down to 27%. Head back as quick as you possibly can. As soon as you're out of this sepia hue of the water, basically plain sailing. All you gotta do is look out for the terrain as you get back to your base, which you may have put next to your escape pod. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this informative. What have we looked at in this video? We've looked at Cyclops engine fragments. We've looked at Cyclops hull fragments. We've looked at Cyclops bridge fragments. And in turn, we've unlocked the Cyclops. Thanks very much for watching. Check back for more videos in the series.